Welcome to the Love Holistic Living podcast, your roadmap to heal and align mind, body, and soul and become intuitive through food, pleasure, and spirituality with your host and Italian friend, Sara. Hi, welcome to the Love Holistic Living podcast with your host and Italian friend, Sara with Love Holistic Living. Today I have Andrea with Jennasiya. She's a spiritual teacher and manifestation coach, and really excited because she is getting the 30 minutes free spiritual life coaching with me. So we're just going to have a beautiful conversation and see what spirit wants to convey to her. Any messages for you are going to be provided today. So welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, tell us about you. Let's start with that.
I think, well, there's a lot to say, right? But I think where I want to start is that I was in a narcissistic abusive relationship for 6 years in my late 20s. And that sort of like started my awakening process. I was like in survival mode, right? Like working corporate, working 9 to 5, like hustle and grind right out of New York City. And, married in a toxic relationship. I was miserable. Um, and I like reached a breaking point where I was like, I need help. I didn't know who I was praying to. I didn't know what I was asking for. It's just like, please, someone help me. And my friend at the time called me like a couple days later and was like, told me about manifestation. And I was like, okay, well, I've never heard of it before, but I'll give it a go because I'm desperate. I didn't really know where to turn. And I started this program that she recommended, and it changed my life immediately, like immediately. And I started manifesting, consciously creating my reality. And within a year, I quit my corporate job. I divorced my ex-husband, and started doing energy work and manifestation full time. So it's been 3 years, about 3 years since I quit my corporate job, doing energy work. I'm a healer. I do a lot of work with, like in the energetic realm.
Yeah.
I have a really strong connection with spirit. I've definitely stepped into my feminine energy, and since I quit my corporate job, the goal was always to step into my purpose. And again, like I didn't know what that meant either. I was just like, I know I have a purpose. I know I'm here for something greater. And as I've become more conscious, I've realized that that means like coming into divine union. And I don't know if that's like one and the same, but I think they're very similar, like living your purpose. But also I've been working towards coming into divine union. So like balance masculine and feminine energy together. And I think, so since I have been doing this for 3 years, I don't know if you want, like, should I ask a question now or?
Yeah. So before we ask the question, we want to just say to congratulate like with you about the spiritual awakening journey. And it takes so much courage to leave that relationship. We have the same experience here, and to leap. And I think that's what you did. You leaped, and something magical happens. But if you're here, and I know you have 3 questions, so I really want to provide all the value that we can. So yeah, go ahead and ask your question because you've been through a lot. So yeah, what's your first question?
This is definitely like my ego wanting to know like who, what, where, why, when. But since I've been working so hard at coming into union and like balancing my energies and coming into the most whole version of myself, my question is, when am I coming into divine union? And I know that's probably not like spirit doesn't want to answer that question necessarily great because it's an energetic question. It's not like time and space exist. It's like, well, when you come into union is when you balance your energy. But I'm hoping for like some sort of other like timeline, whereabouts, like, is it 3 months? Is it a year? Is it 2 weeks? Like I do have some type of intuitive feeling, but I just wanted to, if it's possible, to get more of a clear answer from you of when this is happening.
So right now we're pulling some cards because I really wanted to see what they say at first. And the first thing that you already answered to you, that's what we've heard, is it's directly correlated. The timeline is directly correlated to your healing journey. So you're asking for a timeline when in reality is you're right into the healing. Like you're healing your body, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the three planes must be coming into alignment before you get into union. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, because there is another question here about your ex that I think it's coming after,
Mm-hmm.
and literally those are your two main blockages. So if you're asking us like when is when you will not fully allow him to mess up with your energy. So when you will fully integrate this energetic protection, because he still has a hold of you energetically, he's there and he's like um, making you angry or in fear. Sometimes he still triggers certain parts of you. And you need to understand when you're fully the vibrant queen that I got, because that's who you are. You're the queen of wands. So you have
Mm-hmm.
such a vibrant energy, yet we also got swords, which are blockages in your path right now, which are healing, right? So you need to get the wounds, you need to close those wounds within you so that nothing can attach to you. And that is going to take time. So if you're asking us for a time, the first thing that I see is it could take you up to a year. They're showing me the number one. It's not 1 month because I would be lying to you. Um, it's going to be up to 1 year, but you have to go into the next healing phase. It's just going to continue for you,
Mm-hmm.
which honestly is what happens when you heal from narcissistic abuse, which creates damage in the brain. I mean, from experience or what I've noticed is there is some things that we need to rewire, and therefore just go a layer deeper until you fully feel like nothing can harm you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
So he harms it does, but I just want to go a little bit deeper here
Yeah,
because I have a son with him. So
absolutely.
if if my son wasn't there and I was just free to go, like he would be
Yes.
so far gone, right? Um, my son is almost 5, and I feel like I am just a little bit confused about that relationship because obviously I don't have control over what he does.
Mhm.
And my son has visitations with him. So he sees him about once a month for a couple days. And my son always comes back dysregulated.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard to see it. It's hard to be there with him because I know what he's going through. And so, like, in a way, my ex is still hurting me through my son.
Hmm.
And I just don't understand, like, how. So here's the second question is like, I knew my ex was bikarmic, like
Yeah.
100%, right? Um, what does it mean that like I have a son with him? Like, will I ever get away from him completely? Like, does my son have a soul tie with him? So like that there will always be that relationship and therefore always have me in that relationship? Like, can I, when I fully step into my power as the Queen of Wands, will I have that power to like completely sever that tie between my son and his dad? Because, like, I know some people are like, oh, but he's his father. No, he's abusive.
Yeah.
He's a narcissist. I
Yeah.
don't want my son around him. I don't care if that's his dad. It affects me because
Yeah.
I'm his mom and I take care of him full time. So, like, I need to, and I know this is like creating resistance, but like, I really ultimately the goal is to completely sever ties and move on. But I'm just confused about how
Mhm.
that's supposed to happen legally and physical. Like, maybe spirit is going to take care of it. I don't know when I come into union. I don't think he's meant to be in my life and my son's life forever,
Yeah.
because he's my karmic. Like, I'm just not supposed to deal with that for my whole life. I don't believe that. And
How old is your
so
son?
he's almost 5. He turns 5 in May.
So here, this question encompasses a lot of things. So we're going to try to break it down for you in a way that when you said he's still hurting me through the sun, that is what we want you to pay the most attention to. So understand that what he's doing, which is the tie to you, he, in the realms of energy, he doesn't really care for your son.
Yeah.
Like he's just using it to hurt you. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you must understand, you need to really find your center in whatever he's doing, like detaching from, okay, like your son has certain lessons right now to learn and really understand that, really come to the understanding that your son has chose this. And right now there is a tie. To respond to your question, I see the tie between him and dad because dad is giving him some powerful lessons. Like he's a warrior. So,
Oh, my son.
yes, your son. So understand and come from gratitude. It is like, how can I use this to the advantage of my son? Not by talking bad about, the other parent, but how can I use it so he sees the light in the darkness? He
Mm-hmm.
starts to recognize what's right and what's wrong. Now, to respond to your question, yes, there is a tie. It's not forever. So we don't see it past 8 to 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And how is that going to happen? Well, divine intervention. And also, when you stop, it's more about when you stop giving your energy to this. Like you're tied to him because you're giving him supply. Every time you're like, I'm angry, I'm in fear, I'm pissed off, he's getting supply in the energetic world. So, how can I
I
release?
don't I don't feel like I give him supply anymore. I'm really a gray rock. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, like I'm super stoic.
Yeah.
Not friends with him. I don't,
It's
shoot
not
the
what
shit
you
with him.
do.
Like,
It's not what you do, or what he sees is when that can happen when you're like crying in your bed and you're so mad at him because he's abusing your son. Does that make sense? Energy travel.
so when you say stop giving him energy, that means,
It's shadow work. That means completely like it the term they're using is numb, but numb to him.
mhm,
Really detaching from and realizing that at the end of the day, this is serving a greater purpose for your son because he's going to fight for the light at the end of the day. He's going to become a spiritual teacher. So,
my
as
son.
yeah,
Or is that something you're seeing right now?
yeah,
Is that you're
yeah,
really? He's gonna
yeah,
be a spiritual teacher?
yeah. I definitely see him in his element. For some reason, I see him like in the element of festivals and teaching people and without a shirt on and long hair, but he's older. He's like in his 20s.
Oh, I love
And
that.
he likes the festival scene. Like he has, you know what I mean? It's like
Okay.
I
Yeah.
see him with a lot of people around him and there are tents and he's talking to them and understanding that this is part of his journey and you're the container, the safe container that provides him with what's right, what's wrong.
Hmm.
And I love you no matter what, and I'll be here no matter what. That's what's going to make him the greatest teacher, to
Hmm.
be in the light. So that's what we're hearing right now.
So should I not be worried that he's gonna be like part narcissist? Like,
No. And that's the thing. It's like we want you to see and be like, how can I teach him that this is narcissistic without talking bad about the other parent, right? Because we don't want to hurt his other half. We just want to explain what's right and what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, mommy doesn't do that. Or how can we find compassion for a tormented soul? Give him the
Mm-hmm.
lessons so that he understands at some point what is a good parent, a good mother, a good feminine woman, because he's going to look for that. And
Mm-hmm.
how can he support the feminine? Like, take all of this and make him the most beautiful, byproduct of you
Mm-hmm.
through this hardship. That's what we're hearing because he needs this in order to do what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay. Thank you. I needed to hear that. Thank you.
yeah,
I'm just
and it's going to
writing
come
down.
from you. But again, we, as you know, as a spiritual teacher or healer, we can't be strong and have an easy life. We can't be spiritual teachers and have, be provided with happiness and abundance from the moment we're born. We got to go through some stuff to become who
Yeah.
we're meant to become. And that's who he's going to be.
Okay. So it's possible by the time he's 8, 9, or 10 that we're going to see my ex sort of like go his own way naturally, is what I assume. Like the divine
Yeah,
is
I
going
don't
to.
I don't see him hanging around for too long also because he's going to lose interest. Right now, like he feels like he still has a hold of it of you, but the moment like give it time, move on with your life. Like really like you're like just they're saying you need to do things that make you feel happy and nurture. Like bring that energy back. I know you're doing so many things, but we're seeing there is a lack of pleasure, fun. Like
Absolutely.
does that make sense? Like you're maybe
Absolutely.
grinding your mom mode, and then it's like, where is this light, Andrea? The
Yeah.
inner child of you. So move on with your life like that. And that's what's going to help you shift
Mm-hmm.
this kind of darkness in your life. You've got to move
Mm-hmm.
on. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
start rebuilding and be like, oh, he's just a fly on the wall right now. I'm just like, whatever. Like he's a child and I'm the mother of both right now. And I'm just going to put
Mm-hmm.
him in his place and I'm
Mm-hmm.
moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving him any energy, and the only thing I'm focusing on is my son and like making
Yeah.
sure he's learning from this.
And that you're happy and that you move on. And then we're not saying find someone else to move on, just saying like start, yeah, dating yourself, but dating someone else as well. Like just how can you receive right now? How can you fully find yourself in pleasure and happiness and that inner child?
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing fun, fun, fun
Yeah. Okay.
because you're
Yeah.
very strict. You go into I'm meditating, I'm doing this and taking care of the son, I'm cleaning,
I
all this stuff.
definitely don't. I don't have any fun at all ever. Like I really don't. It's sad. I don't know where to start with that. Anyway. Okay. Thank
Where
you.
do you live right now?
I live in Vermont.
Vermont.
Hmm.
And it's cold right now, right?
Cold, yeah.
Um, yeah, but like we're seeing like when you don't have your son, even though it's not a lot of the times, because you have the majority of the time, right? Just
I have the days to myself. I mean, I'm a business owner, so I like had to sort of do it that way.
how
So
can you
I'm
get
spending,
it? Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. Okay. Well, no, I was just gonna say like this could be for sure a trauma response, but like I spend the majority, if not all of my time that I don't have my son working on myself. And that means like energy work, mental, emotional. Like right now, I'm really trying to focus on my physical healing. And this could be a good segue. I was like,
Hmm.
I'm really trying to focus on healing my physical body. And that takes a lot of time out of my day. Like it's like, I go to the gym in the morning, I meal prep, like I make sure I'm eating the right things. Like it takes a lot of work to create that structure to like make sure that I am prepared. Um, so I'm not like reaching for a cupcake because I don't have a protein ball prepared. Do you know what I mean? Like I just need to like focus on that. But and then like work on my business and create content. Like I have like
Mm-hmm.
6 hours to myself, right? Between like picking up and dropping off my son, the other way around. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I just feel like I don't have all the time, but I can try to prioritize it.
Yeah, and it could be something simple like you're stopping to drink whatever drink you can drink right now, like a cappuccino or a matcha or something, a hot tea, but you're treating yourself or going to where do we go? I don't know, like a hot tub or something that it's like nourishing for your soul, because that's what we keep noticing, which is the third question you're going to ask. Um, is about healing the body, right?
Mhm.
We're missing that soul piece. Not in terms of I'm doing a lot of healing, is how can I feed my soul with like laying in the sun, and having my favorite meal, treat that is good for my gut, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
That soul piece they keep saying. And or do you have any group of friends you hang out with?
No.
Yeah, because that's what we're seeing is you're really needing a friend, like
Yeah.
a friend or three girlfriends, and you're about to meet someone, just so you know.
Really?
Yeah, so
Got
that can
goosebumps.
happen in the next couple days or week. So it's very close when I see that. And it could be literally you're like you just need one friend that you connect, male or female,
Hmm.
um, but that you have a support system that you can hang out and laugh with, and
Yeah.
I don't know, train your intuition, but also just laugh and be childish, and be like, let's have fun. So that's what we're seeing. It's like you need that. So call that in because she or he is really close. We're kind of getting more of a female vibe, but
Mhm.
there's this one person near
Okay.
you. Um,
Amazing.
so and then what we're seeing is, do you feel the need to travel or go somewhere?
I love traveling.
Yeah.
It's like my passion.
Where would you go right now? Where do you feel called to go? If you could.
Yeah. I mean, I love um the beach. I love water. I'm super attracted to water and warmth.
Right.
So somewhere warm, probably with next to like on a beach somewhere, I'm sure. Um, I would
Yeah.
obviously need to bring my son, and that's like a more practical thing where it's like if I could go anywhere, I would probably go to Thailand, but I don't think that's practical right now.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, but I do love to travel.
Yeah. So the intention could be because we don't see a lot of plans ahead of you, but we're asking you to make like, what if I could go? What if I could make it happen with my son 5 days in the summertime or something somewhere close in time where we go, and it could be close to the beach or Sedona, or we're not saying Thailand, but something where you rest your soul, because integration is as important as doing. And there is a lack of integration, a lack of stillness. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we can integrate feminine energy, but remember the feminine. So, and you know this manifestation is we put it out, we take action, and then we rest.
Hmm.
And I think you need that. Your nervous system, everything. You're just like, how can I just let go for 5 days? Like my
Hmm.
brain, just like fully.
Hmm.
Um, so that's
Okay.
what we're seeing. And then what was your third question?
So my third question is in terms of healing my physical body, I'm doing a detox right now. I'm going to
Mhm.
do a parasite cleanse and I'm doing like a high protein diet. I'm not doing like carnivore. I know we talked about that.
Mhm.
I'm not doing that. I can't do that. No.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me at all. But I am doing high protein and I'm allowing the carbs, I'm allowing the sugar if I want them, but I haven't really been craving it. Actually, since we did the session that we had together, it definitely healed a lot of my self-sabotage. I think
Good.
there's a little bit left
Mhm.
still, because it is presenting a little bit still, but definitely not as bad as it was. So So I'm digressing. So my question is between the detox and the parasite cleanse and like I'm also taking a SIBO test to make sure like I don't have
Mhm.
gut bacteria, right? That's like everything high protein. Am I missing anything that I'm not aware of?
Tell us your symptoms. What are you still experiencing? Then we can go from there.
So bloat is a really big one. I've been
Mm,
bloated. I've been like chronically bloated pretty much my whole life.
mm.
Um,
Bloated. Are you constipated?
no,
Bloated. Okay.
bloated.
Anything else?
I have struggled with fatigue, but since I started doing the detox and like cleaning up my diet, I've had better energy. But I think generally like low energy.
Then what is your high protein? So tell us a day in your life.
So for breakfast, I usually have a couple eggs, sausage,
Hmm.
and I do bovine gelatin in my
Hmm.
whatever I'm drinking in the tea or decaf coffee in the morning. Um, and then I do for lunch, I'll do any sort of animal protein, like, 8 ounces of shrimp. I'll do like a hamburger salad with beef, all like organic, grass fed. Like I really do try
Hmm.
to do high quality. Um, and then for dinner, I could do like salmon and asparagus or like a chicken thigh, like a couple chicken thighs with some sauce, and
Okay.
then like throw in whatever veggie. And like sometimes I'll have rice, sometimes I'll have pasta if I'm really feeling like something
Hmm.
that it's just I'm not satisfied. So for snacks, I'll do like I've been making these like protein energy balls. I love
Okay.
the chomps meat sticks. Um, yeah, but I like maple syrup in my coffee. So like I do
Hmm.
indulge a little bit with like a sweet treat with my coffee.
Okay. And then the bloatiness as being part of your life, right? You kind of being there. And okay, the next question is because we're trying to get a picture and what's going on in your body.
Hmm.
Um, what veggies do you eat? Cooked or raw?
I always cook my veggies,
Okay.
except I am trying to do raw carrot salad right now because I'm detoxing estrogen too, like with the detox protocol. I'm trying to do that.
Hmm.
But mostly always I cook my veggies.
And then how do you feel after meals? Energized or
I
fatigued?
feel I feel good. I think something shifted
Okay.
between like I used to feel like crap, like
Hmm.
even I would even say some like my life has shifted in that way in the past couple weeks. Like starting to feel a lot more energized and like not so heavy after I eat.
Hmm.
Um, I wouldn't say like I'm ready to run a mile or like lift
Yeah.
weights, but at least I can like get up and
Right, right, right. And then do you dairy or gluten in your diet? Do you integrate that? No.
I'm dairy free, gluten free. If I do dairy, it's raw milk, raw
Hmm.
um, goat cheese.
Okay. All right. And then the last thing we're going to ask you is I don't know if you have a mirror, but do you have like a white coating on your tongue? Do you know?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
All right. So in holistic medicine, in Ayurveda, right? So we look at that. So that's why I asked you bowel movements and then um, we're seeing bloating. But what's really going to make it or break it when we assess is the tongue. Right. So if we have that white coating, it means that no matter what you're eating, you're still producing toxins, which means that you're not really digesting properly right now. So to detoxify the body fully, you must understand that you've got to start digesting what you're eating. So I can right now eat like a kale salad every day and still produce toxins on, and I'm going to notice that on the tongue. Right. So you can do the tongue scraper and the oil pulling, things like that, but it comes from the gut. So then the next thing that we assess is okay, so what if your body, and I know that maybe you feel great with the carnivore but diet, or not the carnivore, the high protein, right? But what if the body is saturated right now and needs more of a gentle approach? right? So the way we explain this is because when we give a protocol to cleanse is usually rice and dal. It's an
Mhm.
Ayurvedic
I've done that before, actually. What is it called?
kichari.
Kitchery. Yeah.
That's what I've noticed that does the most. I mean the most the kickstart. You know, the initial kickstart for the metabolism. You can do it for 1 to 3 days, and then as a general rule, animal protein are harder to digest. We're not saying it's bad for you. We're not saying you can't do this. We're asking, do you have the strong digestive fire that is required? So the strong metabolism that is required to break all of that animal protein down. And I can
Hmm.
tell you that I don't. Um, and then I feel like heavy or like I can't process it. So that's why listening to your body and understanding that maybe you need animal protein twice a day. Right. So what we're trying to say to you is if you want to detoxify faster, make it super easy for your digestive system to digest the food,
Hmm.
which will mean like raw food is actually to break down raw foods is really hard and that
Hmm.
gives you bloating. So when I was bloated all my life until I understood this. I started to cook all my veggies and all my meals, at least at first. Then I know that my body does kind of well with protein, but I can't have it 3 times a day. Like I get saturated within 3 days. So I would literally go once a day or twice a day. And it's usually the lunchtime is when you break down the food best because that's your highest potency. And
Hmm.
then you could have like salmon and asparagus for dinner, right? But we would encourage you to have a light breakfast. So you can have protein, like you could have yogurt. I know you don't do dairy, but that's probiotic. So you're introducing probiotic. You could have, could be a juice for your body type.
Hmm.
Um, I know it's raw, but juicing is going straight into the bloodstream. So if you do a green juice, that could help you cleanse.
Hmm.
Staying lighter for you in the morning will help you because I'm also reading your body type.
Hmm.
So the information are coming through specifically because I know what body type are you,
Hmm.
and that's what I would give my client, you know, if she had your body type. I would be like, okay, you have to go into lighter, like higher vibration and make your body super light right now.
Okay.
So meat and animal protein will ground you, which is good, but will bring the energy down. And it's
Hmm.
going to require a lot for your digestive system to break it down.
Hmm.
Um, what if you need to bring the energy lighter? So lighter meals. And I think the best version for you would be more close to vegetarian right now, if you want to detoxify for your body type. I'm not saying for my body type. Now you
Hmm.
can try it and see what happens, but what we want you to get to is can I digest what I eat? And have you tried to fast for 1 day?
So I'm a little bit confused on the fasting and the vegetarian thing because I feel like in all of the content that I consume, it's like, in like trying to understand what's best for your hormones and
Mm-hmm.
what's best for your metabolism, it's always animal protein.
Mm,
And I do feel satiated when I eat animal protein. And I was vegan at one point, and I was fasting when I was vegan, and I was in terrible health.
yeah.
And I think I would love to fast, but I feel like it's gonna spike my cortisol. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what it did before.
Not
My cortisol
forever.
levels up.
So the one thing you need to understand is through this process of cleansing, this is not going to be your everyday life.
Hmm.
Don't think that this high protein diet or veganism should last 1 year or more. No, we're saying if this is a cleansing stage, is
Hmm.
not your normal stage. So cleansing is just giving the body time to heal itself.
Okay.
The protocol in holistic medicine is make it super easy, like go back to baby, like how you would feed a baby, so that your digestive system can get rid of the toxins while you don't want it to be consumed with like trying to metabolize things. You're not there. Like give
Okay.
very slow, very few information to the body so that you can process everything that you're going through.
So you were saying fast for a day. This is the protocol.
Mhm. Yes. Fast for so what we're saying is it's best understand how can I make it so easy and for my body to detox. So fasting for a day, then the next day is we recommend like no breakfast and or light breakfast, something that is easy to digest. That could be
Hmm.
a yogurt, that could be oatmeal is easy, that could be a juice. Then you go into your lunch, and for the second day you do khichdi for
Okay.
breakfast, for lunch and dinner. Then the
Okay.
third day, you're going to assess how you feel because by the third day, you should feel like something is clearing.
Hmm.
So, how I usually feel it is my energy is picking back up. Maybe I'm feeling slightly more hungry, and or I'm noticing the white coating not forming, right?
Hmm.
So I want to see that. I want to make sure that I check that. And then I could go on for another day of khichdi, which for my soul is like, oh my God, I could be bored, but it's what necessary at that stage of healing.
Hmm.
And or you start integrating like cooked soups, right? So like what kind of soup do you like? Something
Um, I have like a tomato squash soup. Would that be okay?
yes. And make sure that you integrate bone broth, right? So sipping on
Okay.
bone broth is as efficient as eating like because you're introducing a lot of collagen and a lot of protein, but we're also reminding you that for some body types, especially the ones that need to detoxify, um, sipping on bone broth is as efficient because you're not impacting the metabolism. So
Hmm.
even sipping on bone broth throughout the day, and then you start going into what you start building from there. And what we say is find still a light breakfast.
Hmm.
We don't recommend animal protein in the morning. Like you're waking up and you're just like it's too heavy for the metabolism. So we recommend something light. And then you go and then you can start introducing the meat.
Hmm.
Fifth day is like, okay, let's have that animal protein in the middle of the day. And then you get to decide at dinner.
Okay.
I You could do dinner with animal protein, but by the seventh day, you can do lunch and dinner with animal protein. That's what we're saying. But you need to do it gradually so that in the first 5 days, your body is clearing toxins.
Hmm.
So we're not saying stick to vegetarian veganism for the rest of your life. We're saying give it 5 days, you know,
Hmm.
to be light, to be moving things, giving the rest that you need, and then you can build it to 2 times a day. But we want to make sure that once you do it, you pay attention to how you feel. And if you're like, I don't know, I feel like it's not passing through, that's how you're going to feel. Then you slow it down because it's what your body needs. It's not what we read online,
Hmm.
is your body's going to tell you. And you're very intuitive. So we want you to make the connection with the body because the body's going to speak to you. Does
Hmm.
that make sense?
Hmm. Okay. So, do you fast normally, or was it only when you were healing your body?
When I have toxins. I don't do it regularly anymore because my metabolism is going fast right now. But if I was in your position and I'm sick and or my body needs to heal, I would do it for 1 or 2 days until I feel like that toxins is leaving my body. Yeah, I go
Hmm.
back to the same protocol every time.
Hmm.
But right now I haven't had it. But let's just say that in January I catched coronavirus, right? So I was knocked out and I was producing toxins again because your body's going through so much. So I did fast for like 3 days, but
Mm-hmm.
only when it's necessary. Does that make sense? I don't try to plan it. I'm more like, when does my body need it so that I
Mm-hmm.
can clear the toxins and then go about my day and rebuild my metabolism. It's really, it's all that.
Mm-hmm. So it only takes 5 to 7 days to like clear out the
Most of
toxins?
the times. Yeah.
Oh,
I've
I
noticed it
thought it was
was,
like a month, like at least a month, or like
well, to
no.
go into the deepest layers of clearing like I would say a very chronic thing, if someone comes to me with like ulcerative colitis, then I'm saying, okay, we have a strict protocol for a month. But if we're talking, that's why I asked you the signs. If we're talking about bloating and slow metabolism,
Mm-hmm.
you could, since you've done a lot of work already, you could get it into 5 to 7 days. That's
Okay.
why, like, I'm responding to you. If someone comes in on to the call and it's like I'm constipated, I'm ulcerative colitis, whatever, diarrhea,
Right.
then I give a different answer. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Makes sense. So we recommend
Yeah.
that, but we want you to really pay attention to not what you read, more like how does my body feel lighter? That is detoxing. Like, do I have that white coating? No, then I want to clear it. And clearing is letting my metabolism kind of be lighter. Don't
Mm-hmm.
affect it too much because you're processing things emotionally as well. That's what we
Mm-hmm.
want you to hear. You have this emotional, this spiritual that is impacting. So we want to kind of flow. Think about a
Mm-hmm.
flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So like lighter foods, bone broth, things that are going to allow my metabolism to give it a rest.
Yes.
So more of my energy in my body goes less to my digestion and more to like
Healing.
healing, detoxing.
Yes.
Okay. So if
Exactly.
I were to Google like cleansing foods or like light foods, it would probably be like fruits and vegetables, like fruits and cooked vegetables. Would it be like seeds and nuts?
Yeah. So Google, I always recommend, that's what I do. Google Ayurveda cleansing foods. And those are the answer that I usually follow.
Ayurveda what?
Cleansing foods. And then it will tell you.
Cleansing foods. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And fruits is always great.
Okay.
Vegetables need to be cooked and cleansing is anything green. So
Mm-hmm.
asparagus, broccoli, things like that. But if you Google that, then it will give you what you need. Yeah,
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you. I was thinking about doing also a coffee enema. I don't know if you have
I've had
heard of
that.
that.
I've had that. I've
Did
tried
you
it all.
like
Don't
it?
worry.
How did you like
Um,
it?
I did it. Mine was aggressive protocol. It was like I did it for 10 days straight. Um,
You did a coffee enema every day for 10 days.
yeah, I was on a retreat in Thailand and it was very aggressive and I don't recommend that aggressive protocol to the body ever. Unless we're really, really, really sick. But me and you are not at that point. And I think it's good, but remember that when you do an enema, you clear bad and good bacteria. So you have to start from zero. So I would start with the protocol that I gave you, and I would not touch meat until the seventh day because you're clearing everything. So your digestive system is going to be super sensitive and you need to just be super light and do probiotics just to rebuild it. So remember that piece. If you're
After the
thinking,
enema.
yeah, you're clearing everything. So you're thinking, how can I introduce healing, light things, probiotics that will build everything back up? But you're
Mm-hmm.
not ready to process meat after an enema. That's what
Okay.
they teach you in those protocols. So
Okay.
think about that.
Okay. I'm glad I said that then.
Yes, glad you asked. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay,
This is
awesome.
super helpful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we're here. So anytime, but we wish you all the luck, and you're on your path, and you have a very strong intuition and a strong mission, so you're gonna do good things. Yeah,
Hmm.
we see that.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank
One
you so
year.
much. Yeah,
Hmm. 1 year. 1 year, you said, right, to come into union. Like I still have a little bit of work left.
you do. Everyone does, but yeah, if you continue on this pace, that's what we see.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for inviting me. Thanks for having me. This
All
was
right.
super helpful.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.